This is the Real Change Wilmington Podcast, episode 59. Local sisters start a small business at Salon 92 with our guests today, Doughlena Irwin and Ashlee Cupp.
I thought it was going to be a lot more complicated. I feel like people think starting something is a lot more complicated than it really is, and it really just takes being brave and doing it.
What is going on, everyone? This is your host of the Real Change Wilmington Podcast, Dustin Pierce, joined with my co-host, Tiara Harris. Real Change is a positive, constructive, and lighthearted source of local news, events, and resources. In our podcast, we interview leaders of local organizations to help squash rumors and encourage a greater sense of pride in our community. We have a great interview for you today with our guest, Doughlena Irwin and Ashlee Cupp, who recently opened Salon 92, a salon on South Street near the Talbert House and Anytime Laundry location on South Street. So some background on our podcast before we get started. Doughlena was actually in banking before COVID hit. Then during COVID, she went back to school so that she would have more flexibility for her daughter being a single mother. Doughlena actually was encouraged to pursue this career change by her sister, Ashlee, who was already doing men's hair for a larger company in a nearby city. The irony of the whole situation is that Doughlena, after spending some time in the industry, actually convinced Ashlee for the two of them to branch out on their own and start Salon 92. The name Salon 92 was inspired by their late sister, who passed away due to addiction. She was born in 1992, and what I thought was an endearing gesture is that Doughlena and Ashlee actually had their grand opening for Salon 92 on their late sister's birthday, which was August 22nd. Something that is interesting is that I actually myself go to a salon, and it's not because of the pedicures or manicures, but because I have curly hair, and it's always so nerve-wracking for me to get a haircut after I finally get comfortable with how I have grown into my curls. So I say that to say this. At the end of our podcast, Doughlena and Ashlee and us get into what I'm going to refer to as shop talk, where they share a lot of really good stories and words of wisdom and encouragement for people struggling with addiction, like their sister did, and also just how our community at large can best respond to people struggling with addiction as well. What I think you're going to love most about this episode is just hearing from two self-admittedly timid young ladies and how they took a chance and grew in their courage to be able to open and start their own small business. So without further ado, let's get into our podcast. Doughlena, Ashlee, welcome to the Real Change Wilmington Podcast. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
I'm sure you've listened to a few of our podcasts before, one or two, so you kind of know the general format.
Yes.
Why don't you guys just tell us about where you're from?
Go ahead.
That's such a hard question. Every time I get asked that one, I still am trying to figure out the right answer for that, because we were born in Cincinnati. Actually, I think she was born in Wilmington.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was born in Cincinnati.
I should probably say you guys are sisters.
We are sisters.
Okay. Yeah.
We're sisters. I'm the oldest. She's the youngest of 5. I was born in Cincinnati, kind of grew up there for a little bit, and then we moved to Wilmington when I wasn't in school yet. I was probably like 3. And I went to school here, kindergarten first, second grade, and then moved to Texas for a year, and then moved. There's a lot of moving that I could talk about, but basically the majority of my life I lived between Wilmington and Cincinnati, with several different places in between, but back here as an adult. And I mean, she's been here pretty much the most of the time.
My life, yeah. I was in Cincinnati for a little bit, but pretty much from Wilmington.
And you guys graduated from Clinton Massey, both of you?
Technically, I graduated from Clinton Massey. I never walked through the doors of Clinton Massey because I went to Scarlet Oaks for cosmetology. But yeah, my home school was technically Clinton Massey because that's where my parents moved to my junior summer. Because we lived in Cincinnati when I started. Scarlet Oaks, that's in Sharonville.
Mm-hmm.
So
personal question. I always ask this. Are you guys married? Do you have kids? And what are some of your hobbies?
So I was married for almost 8 years. I've been divorced almost 2. I have 2 daughters. My youngest just turned 5 today. It's her birthday.
Oh.
My oldest turned 9 in June. Hobbies. That's a really hard question, too. It's like, what? Do I have hobbies? I don't know. I love to sing. I'm a singer. But I wouldn't say that I necessarily do that anywhere besides the occasional karaokeing. I used to sing in church a lot.
Did you both used to sing together, correct?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our dad was a worship leader for a long time, so I grew up in church, and I sang in church a lot. I've sung a lot of weddings and that sort of thing. But these days, I feel like my hobby is the salon and growing my clientele and trying to manage to keep my house clean and my car cleaned out and my kid in school and doing what she's supposed to do. There's not a whole lot of like exciting hobbies, I wouldn't say, other than building a business, which is kind of exciting and nerve-wracking and all that. So
Yeah, that's fun. Doughlena,
Is it my turn?
it's your turn. Married, kids, and hobbies.
I'm single. I have 2 kids, a 10-year-old boy and a 7-year-old girl. My hobbies, I like to go to the gym. I like to be outside. I like to sing, but not in front of people. And I guess that's it. I like art. That goes hand in hand with my career, I guess.
she's picked up painting. She likes to paint
Yeah.
a lot in her free time.
Very cool. So this is going to be a throwback for some listeners, but our old co-host, Emily Griffith, has her hair done by Doughlena.
Yep.
That's kind of our connection there.
I love Emily.
Yeah. So speaking of art, you guys both have tattoos. Do you have a favorite tattoo?
My favorite's my lions because it represents me and my kids.
It's very cool.
Thank you.
My new favorite's definitely my giraffes that represents me and my kids too. I just got it this summer. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of if I had $1 million, I'd be getting tattoos all the time. It's probably a good thing I don't, but
That's pretty. Did you copy off Doughlena?
yeah, I copy everything off of her.
Did you really?
Pretty much.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's kind of a running joke. She's like, I have the same shoes. I'm like, sorry, I like this color too.
That's awesome. So last question about you guys is just what is a defining moment of your life that has helped make you who you are or shape your values and personality?
For me, the biggest defining moment probably, becoming a mom obviously changes everything. Like it just changes your whole perspective on life. But I would say losing our sister probably was the most transformative event that happened for us. And it still continues to kind of affect us in positive and negative ways. But I feel like we've kind of chosen to let it help guide us to something a lot more positive, which is kind of why we landed with the salon and why we kind of pushed through all our doubts and fears with everything. And our sister and our relationship with her and then losing her has just kind of been the biggest playing factor, I think, in where we are today.
Can I ask how you lost her? What happened?
So unfortunately, she was a part of the group of people who succumbed to drugs and she passed away from an overdose. She had been clean for a long time, as far as we knew. She was 7 months pregnant when she passed away. So we lost her and also our nephew at the same time. It's pretty heavy. It's a pretty heavy topic, but it definitely has opened up our eyes and gave us a lot of compassion and empathy towards people who struggle with addiction and that sort of thing. And I don't know, it's just kind of, there's a lot to unpack with that, really.
Sure.
So I don't know.
I don't
Thanks
want to jump
for sharing that,
too
though,
far ahead, but is that why your salon name is Salon 92?
Yeah, our sister was born 1992. So Lena, I think, actually came up with it, but I was just like, that's perfect. We tried to play around with different things, and I'm like, that's the perfect name for it. And yeah, she's kind of been in the back of our head this whole way, an inspiration, really, because a way to kind of help her live on, because when you lose someone, you can't really grip that. So I think just trying to keep her alive, keep her present. That's why our grand opening was on her birthday, which is August 22nd. We just wanted everything to kind of mean something. Which is kind of why we choose our tattoos the way that we do. Everything means something. Like we both have this tattoo and this tattoo that signifies our sister. So I don't know. Yeah.
Doughlena.
Is it my turn?
It is your turn.
It always sucks to go second, doesn't it?
I
You're
know.
both already thinking, what am I going to say?
I agree. So what was the question again?
So she kind of stole your thunder.
She
because-
stole everything that you
She
said at the
did.
coffee shop.
She didn't tell me verbatim what she
No,
said, so
no.
I'm not copying her.
It's just, so you guys are sisters, but defining moments of your life that's helped make you who you are, shape your value and personality. And you did say becoming a mother.
Yes.
Do
Do you want to
becoming-
elaborate on why that affected you?
I was very young when I became a mom. I was only 19. And, I was young, so I was kind of in a lost phase of my life. So becoming a mom just gave me purpose, and it's helped me be braver. I was always very quiet and just shut out from the world. And I feel like becoming a mom made me brave again. And it's only just gotten better. The older they've gotten, the more stronger I've gotten. And then, of course, losing my sister was a big part in my life. That was changed my life. I feel like it helped me value life more. It definitely was a traumatic loss, but it just helped me realize life can be taken from you very quickly. And I don't want to waste any time. So I try to use every day as a way to do something better than I did yesterday.
Thank you for elaborating on that answer. So, what inspired you guys to start Salon 92?
My sister definitely was the inspiration behind the name, and again, realizing life is short and don't waste any time. Go for things. I've only been a hairstylist for going on 3 years. So I didn't know when she passed that this is what the outcome would be, because I wasn't even thinking about cosmetology then. But I've just always known that I wanted to own some kind of business. And now that I'm doing hair, she pushed me to do hair. And as soon as I started, I'm like, we're going to own a salon. I don't know when it'll be, but it'll happen. And here we are.
Yeah, I've been doing hair for almost 18 years now. Not to brag about my age and all that, but back when COVID happened and, she's a single mom and the kids got homeschooled and she's trying to juggle a job that required school hours basically. And I'm just she's like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to have to quit my job. I got to get him through school. And she's like, there's no job that is going to work with the schedule. And I'm like, you need to just do hair. She was already into kind of playing around with styling people's hair and makeup and stuff like that. And I'm like, you're natural. You would be so good at it. But when we were younger, we used to always just sit in our room and talk about we should open up a yogurt shop in town, a frozen yogurt. They don't have a Minchies or anything like that. Or we should have a cupcake shop and we would make up different flavors that we would have. We've always talked about having some kind of business in Wilmington, because Wilmington didn't typically have a whole lot to offer, which now that I'm back here again as an adult, I'm telling her look how cute this little place is. This place is cute. Because I didn't have all these little cute spots around town when I was growing up. So we always kind of had this drive to want to have something and have our own thing. And then she landed in cosmetology and was amazing, just like I knew she would be. And I've loved what I do, and especially where I've landed in my career as far as focusing on men's hair and that being my clientele. But I was never really happy in my job because I worked for, corporate companies and, you're just kind of a number. And so is the client. And I never vibed well with that whole thing. So when she started being super successful and she's like, we got to do something. We got to do something. So we just kind of, for the last couple of years, have kept our eyes peeled out and can we make something happen around here?
Mm-hmm.
And we just kind of landed. It just kind of seems like the door opened and everything just kind of started falling into place. It's been kind of a wild thing to see happen because, when it all started, I told her, she's like, should we do it? I'm like, we should do it. And if it happens, then even though I'm thinking no, I got to keep my stability, even though it wasn't true stability. It was just a security in what I had, coming in regularly. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to take a leap, but I was just if the door opens and we don't have to push real hard to try to get this door open, then let's just do it. Let's go with the yeses. And literally everything is just kind of it's the puzzle pieces have just easily come together. So I'm just I guess we're doing it. I kind of feel I'm floating through it because I'm is this right? I don't know, but it's working. So
you, Doughena, were working at a bank first?
I worked at a bank for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was taking classes. I was going to be a mortgage lender.
Mm-hmm.
But then whenever I had my daughter, she was sick all the time, had a lot of health issues, and it was just better for me to stay home with her. So that took me out of that career. I was a stay-at-home mom for less than a year. And then I kind of hopped around jobs. I had a hard time finding jobs that would work with my schedule as a single mom and needing to get my kids to and from school and all of that. And then after that, that's when I started hair school And
during COVID.
yeah.
So Ashley kind of pushed you into the hair school thing. And then when you got established as a hairstylist or cosmetologist, then did you push Ashley into starting the business? Is that how it works?
Yeah, exactly. I
Okay.
didn't think about it like that.
Yeah,
but
we've been pushing each other, I guess.
We do. We just keep on nudging each other along.
That's pretty cool.
When one of us is down, the other one just kind of kicks the other. It's kind of our dynamic. It's kind of how it's always been. But which is why this relationship is one of the most valuable relationships that I have is with my sister, for sure.
Okay, so now Tiara wanted to know the process of like opening a salon.
So first I went on the Ohio Business website and they have a checklist on there for what you need to do to open a salon. I printed that out and I just started working down the list. I had to get our LLC. I had to apply to state board, and then once they approved us, they had to come and inspect. Find a space, I guess, was number one. We found that. It really wasn't that complicated. I thought it was going to be a lot more complicated. I feel like people think starting something is a lot more complicated than it really is, and it really just takes being brave and doing it.
And having good support around you, too, because I feel like without some of the help that we got to, like, get the plumbing set up, get our bowl set up, we had just good family support that helped us get things that we wouldn't have been able to do, like hang mirrors and build us a back bar. And I mean, we got a lot of help in that way, but which that was probably the longest part of the whole thing. And I thought the other part was going to be the hardest part, like all the paperwork and all the checklist stuff. And that's why she kind of managed all that. And I was just like, but the month and a half of like getting that place together was the longest part of it all, for sure.
And your aunt helped you too, right? She's a salon owner in Kentucky.
Yeah, my aunt in Kentucky, she owns a really big salon. She came down before we signed the lease and looked at the place with us and just gave us a whole list of like advice and questions that we should ask the realtor before we sign the lease. And she's kind of just been my mentor all
She's
along
like
the way.
Shark that we needed in our corner. I told her that. I'm like, you're our shark. Like, have you seen Shark Tank?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're definitely our shark for sure, because she's been doing this for decades now. And she has like a super successful salon with like, 28 girls in there. And I don't know if that's something we foresee for ourselves as far as something that big, but we definitely knew that she'd have a lot to offer with helping us feel confident, I guess, that we could do it. And yeah. She was there that day too. I think you met her.
Yeah. She was a pretty cool lady.
She's a very cool lady. She's amazing.
So I didn't even think about it. You guys have to like do some plumbing work for your sinks. So how did that even work? Like,
so we were lucky, and the plumbing was already set up in the wall and everything. So we didn't have to pay a plumber to set it all up. The space was a salon about 10 years ago.
Oh, nice.
And they kept the plumbing there this whole time. So it really feels like it was meant to be.
Sure.
But hooking up the sinks, of course, we didn't know what we were doing with that. So
I thought it would be easy enough. I'm like, you just put this here and put that there. And we're like, no,
I'm
who
pretty
did
sure
this?
It's not that simple.
It's not this simple. You need this and that. And yeah, so we needed people that knew a little something about all that. And fortunately, with connections with what she, doing hair and clients and then family members and stuff, like, we were able to pull it all together in probably a very reasonably priced way compared to what it could really take to make it all happen. So that was a big plus for sure.
What's the like inspiration for the design? Like what was the aesthetic you were going for?
I view it as like a boho a little bit with like class, I guess. I don't know if you can mix the two. Just I wanted it simple but like comfortable, and I like the greenery because it's like boho-y.
So boho is in like natural stuff.
Like free spirit and welcoming vibes,
It's like boho with deodorant.
Yeah.
Okay. What?
Nothing. Something neutral, something that would work for like men and women, where everyone could feel kind of comfortable in there. It's not like super girly, it's not super masculine, it's just kind of like a comfortable space.
Because you serve as males, correct?
Yes. Yeah. And she mainly, I guess, does more women's and color and styling and that sort of thing. And so, yeah. And I've worked in like a place where it was like clearly directed towards men. It was sports, just completely sports focused. And So she definitely was like, no, I don't want that. But I'm like, let's meet in the middle here. And so we, yeah, kind of come up with a more in the middle kind of stylish, but modern, but
I came to your grand opening. I didn't feel like out of place or anything, or like it was too girly. I mean, there's tons of girls there, but like it wasn't like the aesthetic wasn't too
good. Good. That's and all the clients that I've had in so far, they're like, oh, I love it. And they were with me at the other place and come with me here and are just like, it looks great and it feels great and everyone acts like they feel comfortable. And so, I mean, I think we've met our goal with that for sure. We're excited to get more people in and have more people feel that way.
So are there any specialties you offer that helps you compete with Wilmington's saturated market? Because I know there's lots of salons around here. You work with men. Do you offer anything special?
So yeah, actually, I like to finish my haircuts with a spa treatment. So I do like a shampoo, scalp massage, just to get all those little loose hairs off of you so you're not walking out itchy. And during that, you get a hot steam towel on your face, which is infused with essential oils. And then to end that, I'll do like this back and shoulder massage with this handheld massager that I have. And then a blow dry and styling. And basically, I feel like a lot of times men, their only options are like quick in and out haircuts. They're not really pampered much. They're not listened to that much. It's just kind of like this whole quick experience for the most part. And unless they see a hairstylist, but then it's still kind of like this squeezed in thing. And I've kind of wanted to focus and be able to have this service that men can feel like they matter and heard. And I don't know. I feel like that kind of is, I don't know of any place that around that kind of offers that, but yeah.
Did you do that at the corporate place you worked at? Or
I did.
Like those services that you said you did that there, was that part of their package?
That was
Or
part
is that
of
something you
their,
just did?
that was part of their package.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a few tweaks that I've made myself, but yeah. And there's no place like that around here. So I'm like, I need to bring something like that to Wilmington without having to bring a whole company with me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but I guess I'm a copier. I copy her.
But it's unique for the area. So you took something that you saw that was not here and it was really good and you brought it here.
Exactly.
So I mean, whatever.
Right.
What about you? What do you specialize in?
I specialize in color, bridal styling, and curly hair. There's plenty of talented stylists in this town. So I guess the only thing that I feel sets me apart is my honesty with clients and just my care for them. I feel like I'm always going to be honest with them. I won't promise anything that I can't achieve. I'm going to be blunt, but make sure that they're happy at the same time. So, but I don't really offer anything outside of what everyone else in town offers. So,
but curly hair specialist, speaking from someone with curly hair, it's not as saturated as...
Yeah, that's a big reason why I wanted to dive into that. My daughter has curly hair, and I've had to kind of learn my way through caring for her hair. And I've realized that around here, like, people will have to drive 2-3 hours to go to a curly specialist. And so I'm definitely still learning and growing in that area, but it's definitely something I'm passionate about.
What are some like unique challenges of curly hair?
There's a lot of challenges with curly hair.
I have curly hair, kind of. I just
Yeah,
I don't know.
there's just so many different textures, and I just think people will put out a video and make it look like it's like one solution for all, and that's not really the case. It's like case by case basis, and I just think a lot of people are just uneducated, and it's unfair because they don't have the easy access to the education to take care of their hair. And so I want to try to be that person that can help them.
Do you have any recommendations for people with curly hair? Or is it just too broad of a
Now
category?
you're putting me on the spot.
Me on the
Recommendations
spot.
is
This is
come
your
see
career.
me.
It's
That's
expert-
my recommendation. Come see
Oh,
me so we can
man.
talk. I can look at your hair and we
Okay.
can talk about it.
Okay. I'm not going to need free tips on the podcast.
You try.
I tried. So, what are some challenges you guys have faced branching out on your own or even getting to that point where you branched out on your own?
So owning your own business is hard. And even though we just opened the salon, I feel like I've been running my own business since I started because I've done it independently. And really just juggling home life, taking care of kids, and juggling like marketing and being my own receptionist and financial manager and all the things. It's a lot to juggle. But I am proud of myself for sticking it out and doing it for as long as I have, because it's not easy. It's been a challenge, but I like a challenge. So
Right. Me,
And it's
not
your
so
own
much.
thing too, so it's kind of rewarding. Like you're doing all this stuff and it's your business now.
yeah, it feels like mine. And now I'm in my own space, and it doesn't really feel much different because I feel like I've tried to create this vibe anywhere I've been, but now I get to say that it's ours and not someone else's.
I have a little different experience because I have worked in corporate places for all my career and had like this steady, like, although not the best income, it was like I knew what I could rely on week to week. And then becoming a newly single mom for the last couple years, that's been a shocker for me to like try to figure out my way, financially, especially this economy. I feel like who the heck can make it on one income and then add 2 kids to the mix? And then I just, then we're just, let's just jump all into this business. And there's this whole level of finances. And then now I don't have that secure, weekly income. It's more like, all right, am I getting appointments? Are people, am I coming in? And I've only been here a month now, and I realize that it takes time to build, but like my patience is very thin because I'm seeing everything coming in, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, how is this going to work? But I have such great days that I'm just like, oh man, this is working. This is going to work. And then I have like a slow period and I'm like, I can't do this. What am I going to do? So I actually
this is very new. So those are all like legitimate feelings. This is so new.
It's so brand new.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been like so I literally just had an interview at Gold Star. Everyone's going to know it anyway. They all knew who I was when I went in because I've been in the newspapers and stuff now. I'm like, oh, your hairstyle.
Which is a good thing.
Which is a good thing. But I'm like, I'm about to start serving at Gold Star just to help ease my mind and try to make sure that I have, which I don't even know how that's going to go. I'm like so nervous about that. I haven't served since I was like 15. But I don't know. It's been mentally...
It's been challenging, but better days are coming. Because I was there too.
I'm trying to be positive. I'm like, I do have daughters and they hear me and they feel me. And I know that they do. And they're having the same worries as me, whether I want them to or not. And I don't want that. And I feel like I'm doing the right thing for the future. But I just worry like what that's going to look like in the meantime before I get there,
Short term can be very terrifying.
It is very terrifying. But I have, like I told her from the beginning when she's like, should we do this? And I'm like, we're doing it until the door shuts in our face. Like, we're just doing it. So that's what I'm trying to like listen to that voice that I had in that moment and hang on to it. But I lose that voice sometimes. And I don't know. But I'm surviving. I will get through this no matter what it looks like. And no matter... I mean, I've even told some of my clients who are from the area, yeah, I'm going to be working at Gold Star. And he was very encouraging. He's like, how many people juggle a couple jobs when they're trying to build a business? And he's like, that's admirable and all this. And I'm like, it feels kind of embarrassing, but.
I remember when I first started my business, so I own a makeshift website company. When I first started, I had like enough clients trying to get by, but I was freaking out. And I was like, I got to get a part-time job. So I worked at UPS for maybe a week. It was in their like warehouse in Columbus. It was horrible. Like it was a night shift. About. It was the worst thing. I've done manual labor. I've done hard jobs. But that took another level. It was crazy.
That's what I'm worried about with serving. And I just talked to my aunt last night and she's like, that's a hard job. And I'm like, yeah, don't remind me. I know it's hard to be a server and I'm afraid I'm not even going to be good at it.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
So did you leave UPS just because you was over it or because you didn't need it anymore?
So I had an actual career and then I quit the career to start my business. And then when I did that, I was like, what am I doing to my life? And then I was like, I got to get a part-time job at UPS like at night. And then after a week, I was like, maybe I can just be okay getting by for a while and slowly build them up,
I did the same thing in the beginning of building my clientele.
Oh, were you at Frisch's?
I worked at Donato's for a week. I worked at Frisch's for a week. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to struggle the times that it's struggling.
That's what I'm worried about. I don't want to start
It's like a natural thing, I guess. You just like freak out and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to cuss for
you freak out and you get a taste of it and it stings real bad. And you're like, I don't think I want to touch this fire every day.
But for sure.
Think I'm good.
For sure. Okay. Very cool. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
This might get edited out. There's this quote that I really like that says, if life closes a door in your face, open it again. It's a door, not a wall, you know?
That's true.
And I was like, what a good quote.
That is good. Marlon Wayans, I just saw him talk about doors. His brother told him if the door closes and you're just sitting there staring at this closed door and you're missing all these other open doors around you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's true. You can sit and focus on the fact that this door closed and then miss all your other opportunities.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in the same respect that
Makes sense. You can just open the door.
just open it again and just
try
see.
again.
See if they let you in this time. I don't know.
Anyways, that was just, as a cosmetologist, what gets you the most satisfaction? What are you most proud of in that career field?
I guess my willingness to open up with clients, because I used to just be so closed off, and it's just kind of opened a new door. Speaking of doors, I've just really enjoyed connecting with people, and it's been a really beautiful thing. I feel like it's helped me grow a lot, and I'm proud of that.
Is it really hard being a cosmetologist, making small talk for that long?
So I'm with a client for like 4+ hours at a time. So there are times where it's
Quiet.
it's just quiet because the vibe is just not, I guess some people give off a vibe of like, I just want to be quiet.
Yeah.
And so then it's just quiet. But I'm okay with that because I'm pretty used to being quiet. So I just sit there and think and get lost in my head. But then there's clients that you just really flow with and connect with. And we're talking nonstop for the 4 hours. And I've become best friends with a lot of my clients. So it can be hard, but once I got comfortable, it's not really that hard. You just feel what they're feeling, if they want to be quiet or if they want to talk, and then you just go with it.
Do you have music?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just thinking for 4 hours if you have a client that doesn't want to talk.
Sometimes because I use Pandora, and after a certain amount of hours, it'll say, "Are you still listening?" And it gets quiet, and then it's just like crickets. Sometimes I'm like, "Oh my gosh, where's my phone?" I need to turn the music back on.
I don't mind when like it gets really quiet. I'll get my hair cut because it's like, focus on my hair, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh,
Like,
I've had
I
people
like you
tell
as a
me that.
person, but make sure this looks good when we're going.
Right. Yeah. Copy, because literally that was going to be my answer before you said it. But it took me a lot longer than it took Doughena to figure that out, like how to open up and how to get the most out of my career, because I was just kind of like, this is just my job. This is just my job for a long time, which that's no way to do it. And I guess I kind of found value in building relationships with people, which is what it was all about to begin with. I wish I would have figured that out a long time ago. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a therapy session for both people a lot of times when you're, and I'm only with people for like 30, 40 minutes. And I've built the best relationships with people over the years. That's the most rewarding part about it for sure, is on the hardest days and you have that one client that you've had for years and you just get to catch up and it's like a friend, That's the thing that I'm most proud about, overcoming my fears with being social and, opening up. And I mean, I went my whole first pregnancy with my oldest, which this was 9 years ago. But I mean, most of my clients, I think they had to know that I was pregnant because I was big. And I'm like, I'm about to go on maternity.
But your
They're
clients
like,
are
"What?"
guys, though, so no one's going to ask you, are you
Right.
pregnant?
Well, I literally had guys who were like, wait, what? What do you mean you're going? Where are you going?
no.
I'm like, on maternity leave. They're like, you're pregnant? And I'm like, don't you see this? This is not just like a beer belly happening here.
Wow.
But I never talked about it because I was just so closed off. And now it's like, I feel like people know too much of my business, really. And I know too much of theirs. But like I said, that's kind of like, that's how I connect with people. And that's what's brought people following me, 30, 40 minutes now. And they're like, it's not just about a good haircut. You give a good haircut, but I could probably get a good haircut somewhere else. It's like,
sure,
it's the relationship. It's the personality. It's the time that it feels more valuable than just, I'm getting a good haircut. And some people really need that. I feel like for some of my clients, like they don't get to have that with many people. They don't have, I don't know. It's a special thing, I think.
So you're getting a haircut, a massage, and a therapy session.
Exactly.
All in one.
And it's only $20.
Yeah.
Such a cheap therapy session.
And that's awesome.
Something else I'm proud of is helping people feel beautiful and confident. My favorite thing to do is to keep their chair turned while I'm styling them. And I tell them, don't peek. And then whenever I turn them to the mirror, they just have this big reaction and they're just like, oh my gosh, I love it. And it's just really gratifying. And yeah, I just love helping people feel better about themselves.
It's amazing what a good haircut can do for you. Like,
Boost your
it
confidence.
boosts everything. Yeah. You don't really realize how much it can be weighing you down. And then you get like this refresh and you're just like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is what I needed. Yeah. I mean,
I just
I knew you were thinking about something. Go ahead.
no, I was thinking in line with that. Well, I get so depressed at my house sometimes because it gets like dirty, you know, but then it gets clean. And I'm like, this is a great house, you know?
Yeah.
Feels like your like hair, like, God, I'm
like
so
a
like ugly or like
refresh.
terrible.
Yes.
And you get a haircut and you're like, I kind of
man,
like
I
my
look
face
good.
now. Yeah.
Right. Look at my cheekbones.
Yeah.
Like, they look great. Yeah.
Anyways, that was my dumb thought for that.
Don't edit that out. Keep it in there.
That was me when I had the goth Bob Marley.
That was you? Oh, yeah. You mean like it was you after it or when you
I
got
felt good when I had it, and now it's back to the bun. I'll do it
it?
again.
It looks
eventually.
better like this.
Why do so don't
say
that?
She
It's happiness.
No, she used to look, she had these like dreadlocks.
Oh, I love
Yes,
It was
I
too
did.
much.
I still have them
Oh my
underneath.
goodness.
Because she always wears all black,
Yeah.
long sleeves.
I do.
I love it. Love it. I
It
love
was a look.
It was a look. It was heavy though. It was really heavy.
Was it heavy?
Yeah.
You have a lot of hair.
Yeah. This isn't even. I could take this off right now. My hair is underneath this.
I could take this off right now. The same line.
Okay.
I bought it.
You bought it.
So whenever someone's like, "Oh, your hair's so good," I'm not like, "Yeah, it's fake." It's like, "Yeah, it is. Thank you. I bought it."
So with the dreads, was it your hair dreaded or was it like the?
It was both. It was intertwined. I'm still working on getting the other half out, which is why my hair is up. So
Oh.
like underneath this, yeah, I still have locks. It takes.
But she felt like her
point of
best
view-
self. Don't
my
take
point
that
of
away
view
from
is
her.
that you're a pretty young lady and you cover it with those dreadlocks. It's just not
Cover it. That's not true.
It's okay. Let's go to the next question.
okay. So about the salon, it's just you two right now. You do have 3 booths. It looked like. I wanna say.
Yes.
Do you have plans to hire someone else eventually, or maybe it's a dream, not a plan right now? Or what's your thought on
We
that?
actually made a post that we are accepting resumes for the space. So we're currently searching for the perfect fit. We want to keep it very drama-free and family-oriented feeling and just keep the vibe the way that it is. So we don't want to just bring anyone in. We
Right.
wanna-
With good quality too. I mean, not to sound rude or harsh, but we're not just going to just bring anybody in and send any kind of work out the door. That's the other thing we really pride ourselves with is taking our time and giving people what they want and making sure they leave happy. And we want the next person we bring in to value the same thing, you know. Plus the no drama is very important. And yeah. So
I go to my hairstylist just to learn the drama, though. So
right. I know
There are
that-
some
there's-
people that enjoy that, and that's
there are.
okay.
I'm just
that is
kidding.
okay.
No, it's
Seriously.
really true.
how else am I gonna know?
You feed off the energy.
It's true.
Right, and
Yeah.
that there's a whole that I mean I've
I'm
worked with
kidding.
people like
I'm
no
kidding.
no it's true
There
though.
really are
really
people that
is.
enjoy that,
and
and
that's
that's okay.
fine.
Sure.
I mean that's just not something that we get our nutrients from as people. It's just kind of it weighs us down to kind of deal with all that. Maybe because there's been enough drama in our lives. It's like we want work to be peaceful.
Yeah.
You want to go someplace and escape, not
Mhm.
make it
Exactly,
worse.
exactly. And a lot of times for me, especially the avenue I've taken in this career, it's been like high school every day. I'm like, gosh, didn't I graduate back in like I don't want to keep going to high school. Like I'm over it. Grown women, like I'm just like and that's the vibe that we just definitely don't want for our spaces to cattiness and drama and gossip, and it's not our idea of fun. But
Sure. I mean, if you own the business,
I
we'll
could,
have to
like-
deal with the drama.
exactly. I could like hear about it from over there and be like, oh, that's happening over there. Okay. But I don't want to like work with it. you
Yeah, I
know?
don't mind to hear about it. I just
Stay informed.
don't want to be involved with it.
Gotcha.
Right.
That makes sense. Doughlena, one thing that you mentioned when we got coffee was the possibility of hosting events at your salon.
Yes.
So what kind of events would you want to host?
So we've just kind of thrown ideas out there. We've talked about doing like it might sound silly, but like a marathon and have our salon be like the meeting point, and there be like vendors set up and like tables set up, and have different like rehabilitation places come and set up tables with information because we want to support people that struggle with addiction. And there's more than just that avenue that I would like to explore. I want to help in the community in more ways than just that, but that's a big thing that we're passionate about. It's another way to like carry on our sister in a positive way by helping people that struggle with it. So I don't really know what the events will look like, but we definitely are talking about it, throwing ideas up about things like that.
We always ask this last question about stigmas and rumors.
Which is funny because we just talked about
Gossiping.
Yeah.
Drama.
That's a good point. Yeah. So, yeah, are there any like stigmas and rumors about specifically your business or maybe just the industry in general that you would want to address that maybe there's misunderstandings people have about cosmetology or?
The industry in general, I feel like, thinking of Emily, your previous co-host, I was the first stylist that she came to see because salons intimidated her. She was nervous to go into them. So I feel like there's a stigma that it's like this uppity, standoffish type of vibe, and I think we want to make it known that that's not us, and we have a different vibe, and you can feel comfortable to come in.
We felt all those things ourselves. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't want to, can you do my hair after hours? Because unfortunately we have had aunts that do hair our whole lives. So we haven't had to go into salons, but I've never wanted to either. Like after hours, I'll catch you in there. Like, I don't know, because there's this whole stigma around it. It's just kind of, it can be uncomfortable for people who aren't as socially like comfortable, you know? And it took me years and I still struggle with being like comfortable in social environments and stuff like that. So that's been our biggest goal with this place, is to make sure that no one comes in. Yeah, no one comes in feeling that way. And if they come in feeling that way, they leave like, I'm definitely going back there because I didn't feel that way, even though I thought I might. So it's another reason why we kind of like it small, and we don't have a ton of booths in there, and we don't want to bring a ton of people in because sometimes the more people you bring in, you lose control. The more scary
it is for
clients. You lose
clients.
control over that, you know, that whole aspect of it. So
is it scary for some people, you think, just because being in a big room of people?
Yeah, I think it's a big room of people. And I mean, the whole reason someone would schedule an appointment is because they're not feeling great about themselves. So going into a place that just has so many people that are put together and just seem like they have their life all together. And then if there's 10 plus stylists in there, it's like, oh man, this is scary. I'm not good enough to go in there.
Right.
So,
and even the feeling of not knowing, like, I don't know how I want my hair. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to look stupid to this person. I don't know the language. Like, what do you think? What do you think? Like, it's this whole like battle a lot of times with people to even figure out who they feel comfortable with to do their hair and who's going to make them just, I don't know. It's a whole trust thing, really, I think, too.
I think the open concept of some salons is also really intimidating to some people. Like the floor plan, they're sitting by
so many people that you don't know. Yeah.
Me personally, I've been to a salon one time.
Really?
Yeah. And it wasn't as bad for me because it was a family member cutting my hair. But it's just like I have really bad anxiety. So even being in an open setting was like, ugh.
Same.
Yeah.
I know that feeling all too well.
Do you get anxiety from going to the gym?
Yes.
Yeah.
Crippling.
Oh, gosh.
Awful.
I've sat, literally, I have to sit in this. I still, to this day, am like this. But like, well, for one, when I was first started going to the gym, as like before I became a mom, which becoming a mom has made me a lot more brave in a lot of ways, but I still have this voice and struggle with anxiety. I would change in my car because I was afraid to take a bag into the gym just because I didn't want people to look at me, even though that's the most normal thing to do, to walk into a gym with a gym bag. But then I would sit in my car, be like, okay, in 30 minutes I'll go in. In 30 more minutes I'll go in. And eventually I would make it in there, but I would be sitting in my car till I felt too stupid to keep sitting in my car because I'm like, these people keep seeing me sitting in my car. Gotta go in and make my move. But then I would just go to one specific machine and not look around and put my headphones in and just cardio it out, and which wasn't the most beneficial way to work out, but it was just like I was doing it. So yeah, the gym is the gym, the salons.
So I talked to Amy Zimmerman, who owns Vital Fitness. I asked her that same question about why people have anxiety going to the gym for. And her thing was that people at the gym aren't even concerned about other people because there's so many mirrors around. Like, they have all these mirrors around people. They focus on themselves. Like, they're looking at themselves in the mirror. So they really don't care what you're doing over there.
That's your hope.
You can rationalize it as much as you want.
No, I think you guys are in your heads about this.
Oh yeah, that's the whole thing. I mean, that's
what
is the biggest battle right here is my head.
That's a good point. That's a good point. What I was just saying is that nobody else cares.
Right. And as I've gotten older,
You
and
realize that.
you realize more and more. And the fact that if they even do, it's like, I don't care if they care.
That's a good point.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like as
That's
you
a good
get
point.
older, and my ex-husband used to tell me all the time, like, I can't wait because he's 5 years older than me. He's like, I was just like you. Eventually, you're going to feel this way too. You're not going to care what people think. And I'm just like, I can't wait till I feel that way. And I just never thought I would. And I mean, the older I'm getting, I'm just kind of like, I don't really care. Catch me in Gold Star. I don't care. You know, like it's not, I don't know.
It's definitely gotten better for me as well with age.
Yeah,
So it does get better.
it does get better.
Do you think that kids have made you braver because you have to do certain things now?
Yes.
It's not just like you're braver magically. It's like,
Right.
I have to do this. So like, I have to
Exactly.
get over like, my
Well, I
anxiety or
mean,
whatever.
my first big wake up call, I was pregnant with my oldest, and I'm calling my mom, like, hey, can you make my doctor's appointment for me? Because I never did that stuff. I don't like talking on the phone. I don't like being in charge of. She's like, yeah, I'll call him. She calls the doctor's office, like, yeah, my daughter's pregnant and I need to make her appointment. They're like, okay, what's her birthday? And as soon as she gives them my birthday, they're like, ma'am, she's going to have to call herself. Like, I'm 27 years old and my mom's calling
Oh my
to make
God.
a doctor's appointment. So that was my first rude awakening. And then it's like, I had to start making my kids' doctor's appointments, and I have to walk them into school when I'm feeling afraid to walk into the school building too. But I have to have a brave face for my kids, you know? So yeah, kids definitely
Force you to be
to face your
not
fears.
a kid and to be an adult now.
Exactly. No matter how much you want to still just, Mom, will you handle this? It's like, nope. I'm the mom now. So
I think the cool takeaway is that you guys have those thoughts and anxieties, but are now business owners and facing them and
pushing through.
brave and
Right.
yeah, it's awesome.
The only way to overcome it is to do it.
Only way to build muscle is to lift the weights, you know, no matter how hard and scary it is. You got to walk into the gym and do it anyway. Otherwise,
So keep
it's never
walking
going to
into
change.
salons until you find one
Yeah.
that you're comfortable
Yeah, it's here. What's a quote or piece of wisdom that's helped guide you that you like to share with other people?
I'll say, grow through what you go through. That's one of the last statuses our sister that passed posted, and it's been something that's stuck with me. And I think everything in life can be an opportunity to grow if you let it.
Same. I feel like, yeah, it's all about perspective. You can let anything defeat you, or you can let anything make you an overcomer. And we're in control of that. We're in control of how we view things and how we choose to. That's kind of what I've been hit hard with a lot, is like, do I want to be negative and just think about, like, you know, all the things that can go wrong and spiral out of control? Or do I want to keep the perspective of hope? And I mean, it's kind of easier to be hopeful too, mentally, you know, it doesn't weigh you down as much, but sometimes that's a hard thing to wake up with. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's more freeing to be positive.
It is more freeing,
It takes a practice.
but it's practice, just like working out. It's like, can't get on the elliptical for the first time and think you're going to bust out 10 miles. No problem, you know? So you got to build up to it. And I'm just kind of on my journey of getting stronger in that way, of not letting things feel so heavy and negative. And it's been a battle, but.
Makes you a stronger person.
Right.
But she's going to grow through it.
I'm going to grow through what I go through.
What would a real change in Wilmington look like for you guys? A positive real change in Wilmington?
I had a hard time with this question, so I'll let you.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like we're on the right track in Wilmington. Like I said, I grew up around here, and I seen Airborne kind of go out, and that's when a lot of homelessness happened. That's when a lot of drugs kind of came into play. Now that I feel like Amazon came in and we have all these smaller businesses kind of building up, we're getting there. It'd be nice to see them really invest, which this could go for any area, any city, any town, because drugs are just rampant all over, whether we want to like open our eyes to it or not. But investing in how to take care and rehabilitate people and not just Band-Aid it, you know, getting people the real resources to kind of help transform their lives, because I don't feel like my sister had that. And I know people that struggle with addiction to this day that there's not a lot of hope for it. It's just kind of like, it's
And
either,
if there is hope for it, they have to go out of town to find it.
you have to go
because
way
there's
far out
not.
of town, because even some of the closest to the town places are just kind of like, whoa, I don't want to be here. I'd rather, you know, be drunk or on drugs than be in this facility that's supposed to be helpful. So And I feel like the more businesses that grow and stuff around here, the more things that come in can hopefully feed the economy and maybe give some inspiration to people who have bigger pockets and hearts for it. Like I said, I feel like it touches a lot of people's lives more than you realize, the struggle with addiction and stuff.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but do you think that there's more things to do in our community, like economic development stuff, that it would maybe persuade some people to not do the drugs, that there was more engaging things
For
to
sure.
do?
I mean, giving people trades, giving people purpose, giving people like a way to survive on their own, and not just, a lot of times people aren't given the resources and everyone just hears college, 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 go to college. And some people, that's not realistic for their upbringings and their lives and their financial situations. And I don't know, just there being something for everyone to figure it out. And that's where I think addiction does really kind of take over, is when there's not much. And that's why I feel like we have kind of seen a little bit of a curve in the downward spiral, and we're kind of seeing it come up a little bit. I feel like, anyway. I mean, I don't know. There's still more homeless people and people on the streets that anyone wants to see, because it's sad to see. But
Do you have an opinion on the most effective form of treatment with people who have addiction?
I think the thing that can keep some people just here when they're struggling in addiction is still having people that love them and support them and are trying to help them. And if as a community, we could all come together and care for these people like they were our brother or a sister, and not just get like, ugh, get this homeless person away from my car, or whatever. We just kind of all had a bigger heart of compassion for people. And I think that is probably pretty vital. And when people feel like garbage, they're not going to act like anything other than that, So.
And I think the stigma around addicts, the way people treat them and don't have compassion for them, it just adds to their insecurities that they feel. I know my sister, when she had her moments of sobriety, she would say, like, I'm always going to be viewed as an addict. People are going to see the track marks on my arms, and they're going to automatically view me as less than and as someone that isn't valuable enough to change my life. And I feel like that thought alone just kept her in it, unfortunately. And I feel like too many people aren't showing compassion and understanding, and aren't reminding themselves that they're a person in there. And before addiction took over their life, they were So
Right.
I just think people get too caught up in wanting to feel like they're better than them, instead of realizing that, we're all just human.
Trying to figure out life, trying to get through it, trying to make the most of it. Some people are dealt a different deck of cards, than other people. And
everyone handles their struggles differently.
Yeah.
And an addict is unfortunately choosing that route to cope with their life struggles. And someone else might look like they're handling their life struggles better, but we're all going to make mistakes and mess up. They just look differently. And I just think if more people realized that and showed love and compassion, there would be a bigger change.
Mm-hmm.
So it almost sounds like, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth either, but almost as if someone gets sent to jail and then they come out and they rehabilitate and they're part of society, but they still have that label. I'm not saying for whatever, for whatever crime it may be, that it just makes you feel less of a human, and that carries with you, which I'm not trying to put on here, but might be a reason that someone commits a crime again, because they're unable to find a job. They're unable to
because society isn't set up for people who mess up.
Even though we all do.
It's set up for hiding your mess ups or just faking your way through it. Because everyone messes up. But some people have the money to hide it enough, or it wasn't a bad enough mess up to where it really needs to be exposed. But if we were all put on a freaking microscope,
if everyone's mistakes were listed out,
could you imagine?
If it was written on them every day, then we would all look the same. But unfortunately, someone who struggles with addiction or gets involved in crime, that physically lives with them, because you can see it on them and you can see it on their record. And someone who didn't go down that path, you don't see it on them, so you just think they're doing better in their life, but really they're probably not.
And they could be great humans too, right? They can be contributing to society, but because they have that label, because they have those physical attributes, people just think
discredit them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as a mom too, that's something else you look at. It's like my little babies, especially now having a sister that I've lost. It's like, I don't know what their future looks like. I don't foresee anything terrible like that, but it's just like my sister was a baby. My sister was, a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old. She was this teenager. Like I knew her entire life. And for only 2 years of her life, she struggled with this and before she died. And it turned her into a different person. And I mean, I don't know, people like to disconnect from that because like she was saying earlier, like I feel like it can kind of help you feel like you're doing good and you're doing better
Helps
and
you feel
you're
better
better
about yourself.
and all your mistakes that you've made, it's not that bad at least, and it's just like get real. I mean, and as long as we have people that are struggling like this, our society is never going to really flourish the way that it could if we didn't like imagine how a family operates, A community is the same thing. You have one family member who is struggling, it weighs you all down. No matter what, no matter how you pretend to carry on with your life, it's a dagger in your family. And if you can all come and lift that person up, help them, they're better, the whole family's going to operate and function better. Like that's just...
I want to say too that I feel like labels like homelessness, addicts, criminals, it's what keeps everyone separated. And even politics, if you're Democrat or Republican, or religion, if you're Christian or Muslim, it's just keeping a divide in between everyone. And I just feel like if everyone would shut all those labels out, then we could all finally actually make a change and like come together and just love each other and have compassion and have patience. And
have your problems, have your addictions, have your religions, have your politics, and we can all still come together, love each other, and learn each other. And that's a beautiful thing to do. That's something we get to do in this industry is we get to learn so many different people. And it has helped me a lot to just kind of like, because whether you want to be judgmental or not, I feel like we all kind of have that in us naturally where we judge something right away or look at something and judge. It's kind of in our nature to do that. And this career has kind of helped me navigate that because it's just like, no, you can't just, this person's that believes in those politics, then they're this, and this. It's like, that's such a wrong way to look at life.
You can spend a 4-hour session with a client and just have such a good time and such a good connection and beneficial conversation and know nothing about like what their religion is or what if they do drugs at the end of the night, it's just you're solely connecting on what's right there. And I feel like that's important. This got deep.
It really did.
I think we veer from like the salon a lot, but I feel like people listening hopefully get to know you guys more, which is what you want.
Our hearts
people want to
behind
connect to their stylist.
Right.
So
right.
That was good. I don't want to damper with any more of mine nonsense.
We can cut this out, but speaking to the whole politics thing, when I work at the Board of Elections, I work with people that are on opposite parties as me. Fantastic people who I love.
Yeah.
That if the labels would keep us separated, normally I don't really care about politics that heavily. I vote for whoever I just think has the better policies. If I'm going to be transparent, I don't really have a loyalty.
Right.
I don't have a loyalty to one side. But some people take it so seriously and let them divide themselves when if you just had a conversation and you didn't know that this person was this or that, you'd really get along.
Exactly.
So it is that simple.
Exactly. I mean, and if you like take that into addiction or homelessness, if you sat down with this addict and you had a conversation about their story, I mean, I guarantee you'd walk away with so much love and compassion for and understanding. It's like, wow, I mean.
Which is really why you should just look at a person and just treat them with compassion and love. You shouldn't have to sit down and have a conversation with them to know that they're just human.
Exactly. And everyone has a story.
And
everybody
respect.
has a story. We all have a story, no matter how high we sit on this imaginary throne that we've created in the society or how low it looks, like the person on the side of the salon, because we have a lot of homeless people that kind of hang out around us.
Like live in the woods.
And I just like, I want to be like, hey, like I don't know. It's everyone deserves respect and really love, I think, no matter what. I mean,
should be a fundamental thing.
It really should be. It's the only thing that transforms anything, in my opinion, is love. Once hate starts entering the picture, it's just destroys can destroy the most beautiful, building.
I like the quote when people say the team is only as strong as the weakest player, because I feel like that could be applied to society or community as well.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying exactly with like a family and one person.
Weighs you down.
It weighs you down. Like we have to focus and care about people that are struggling, because you can pretend and carry on with your life as much as you want, but it's affecting everything. We've seen it in this small
And
town.
we don't mean put them on a bus and get them out.
Right. And that's what some people say.
Whoa. Let's go back to the beginning. I thought we were talking about that. No,
Right. So how do we get them out of here?
Yeah.
No.
Wow. So any closing thoughts on the salon thing that you want to add about your services, shout outs?
So if you want to schedule with me, Doughena, you can text me at 937-768-1253, or you can find me on Facebook. I have a personal Facebook page, Doughena Irwin, or I also have a business page that is just Doughena. You can message either one of those. When my kids are in school, my schedule's pretty flexible. I can pretty much work any day of the week besides Sunday. That one's my off day. But my typical routine schedule during the summer is Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And I have openings, so.
I have openings as well. I'm kind of flexible right now for the most part. I actually do I just opened my book up for Sunday mornings because I realized that there's not a lot of options for a Sunday morning if people want to get their hair cut. I try to be off on Tuesdays and Wednesdays because that's the 2 full days that I have my girls, and while they're in school, it's just easier for me to keep my schedule open. But for appointments, you can find me on Facebook, Ashlee Cupp. My phone number, 513-310-8995.
Thanks for being on our podcast. Really appreciate it.
Thanks
you
for
for
having
having
us. It was fun.
Well, that's it for our podcast today, folks. I hope you enjoyed our interview with Doughena Irwin and Ashlee Cupp at Salon 92. If you have more questions or ideas for them, please feel free to reach out to them directly. If they'll talk to us dorks, they will certainly talk to you as well, because after all, we are a community of empowered individuals. If you want to get in touch with Real Change Wilmington, you can contact us on our website at realchangewilmington.com, visit our Facebook or Instagram pages, or even grab a free copy of our local newspaper at Kroger, Sam's Meats, and Fiesta Veracruz. We also currently send our newspaper direct mail to over 2,500 Wilmington residents. So if you want to help us cover our printing costs and advertise your local business, event, or job posting, please email us at advertise@realchangewilmington.com. With that, I'm your host, Dustin Pierce. Keep it real, Wilmington.